You're wanted in questioning, and I have the answers. Take two. You're wanted in questioning, and I, Judge Bob Roberts, have the answers. Scene one. Take one. Take three. Synopsis. Judge to answer questions about legal advice with the status of information and laws. Example. Question about security guard wanted in questioning of putting a parking ticket on a vehicle in a public area. Scenes will take place in a courtroom looking environment with me as the judge, answering all the state, local, and federal laws of if that security guard really followed the law or broke the law. First case before Judge Roberts today, parking tickets. The evidence to be presented today in our case is a parking ticket from a security guard which was placed on a vehicle on private property of a local business. The security guard from Top Security Company about 10:01 p.m. parked on a business property at Train Excursions, picture show. Directional signs, public parking, also a valet available for a fee to park in them areas. Valet parking fee was $7 for that area. No machines to pay and get a parking pass on that property parking. The local laws and ordinance. A parking pass machine must be within and on the block that you are parking on. That is the local parking authority law. The state law. No local government or business can collect for parking on property that is offering public business and the taxable sales of groceries. If they are offering any kind of food supplies, whether it be restaurant, grocery supplies, anything that someone can go in, grab food, whether it's prepared or not, and leave, they cannot, that is a state law, they cannot collect on parking or valet parking. The federal law states, no local and state government or business can collect for parking on property that is offering public business and the taxable sales of groceries except business claim offering amusement like amusement parks and arenas. They are the laws. and this security guard put a ticket on a vehicle on his property illegally. So with this state, local laws, and federal laws information, I, Judge Bob Roberts, declares the victim of the ticket not to be paid, to send it in as not to be paid because of the laws permitted. And the security company will be notified not to give out any more tickets against the law. Just because you're a security guard or you're a police officer with a badge doesn't mean you can break the law. Doesn't mean there is ignorance of the law. It just means that you're wanted in questioning, and I have the answers. Judge Bob Roberts, take. And now we would go to a commercial with my commercial sales team selling commercials to parkingauthority.com, to security companies, and to even county and state parking authorities. I would go to commercials with any of them, or even lawyers' firms that offer help with tickets. Hi, I'm Attorney Robert. We examine very closely the laws of parking and driving upon our roadways. We examine them so close that the judge gives lenience to our clients. If you have a problem with a parking ticket or a ticket that you believe you are not guilty of, come see me, Attorney Robert, and we'll take care of the problem. And then next, a parking authority woman. Take, hi, I'm Robert from Hamilton County Parking Authority. Please be aware, we have many events this weekend going on at the Chattanooga Convention Center, at Ross Landing, and at several other area local establishments. Please beware to pay your parking fees. Just because an area does not have an individual meter at every parking stall does not mean it is not meter parking. Everywhere in the city of Chattanooga is meter parking. You must find that kiosk that takes payment, credit card, cash, for parking. Insert the money. It'll print out a validation document that you place on your dash so that the parking authority does not boot your car or does not ticket your car up to with an average of $30 per parking violation. We will be out in full force and also be looking for problems throughout the area to help police contain crime. We take our parking seriously. Please park according to the laws, 6 to 8 inches from the curb, and well within the equal balance of each stall, so that all of us can drive away home tonight without damage or without extra cost for parking. This is Robert, Hamilton County Parking Authority. Thank you for this message. This message paid for by Hamilton County Parking Authority. And something like that. And then take we're going to go to You're Wanted in Questioning. And I, Judge Bob Roberts, have the answers. We have many topics through the week of all our shows this week. Yesterday was parking tickets. We have many ideas for shows coming in that we're still exploring. We have one second case today. It's a big one. We're bouncing from $30 tickets to $3 million lawsuits. Musicians' rights. Does a musician have a right to accept lyrics independently and sell them for their own albums without paying royalties or without paying any fees at all to the person that wrote the lyrics? I am Judge Bob Roberts. You're Wanted in Questioning, musicians, and I have the answers for the independent lyric writer that was not paid. His name is Pete. Pete was right under law to secure his work with a contract. Even though not signed or acknowledged, it is still a lawful contract if any part of his work offered is used and by law must be compensated for his offering. Pete the musician must be paid all his costs for his work, as well as royalties by the musician that accepts his work. Now, there are not too many local laws on this, but there is a lot of state and federal laws on distribution rights, on production rights, on digitally mastered productions, and they are usually accompanied by waivers, liability waivers, picture waivers, or contracts, artist contracts, and they're usually signed by the artist and sent back to the lyrics writer to accept them lyrics. But the state and federal laws, both I'm going to address this to, they both have information that if a person is independently writing lyrics for someone, and whether he mails them, whether he hands them to them, whether he sings them to a musician, whether he just talks them to a musician, or whether he texts them with any kind of computer or phone device, television device, any kind of transmittable communication device, that is a contract. There is such thing as a verbal contract, and after that comes all of the other communications, which is a written legal contract. That musician must pay Pete for his work an initial sum of money, and if Pete and the musician work out that sum of money without lawyer and court costs and fees, that's fine. But if they don't, and Pete has to get a lawyer and court cost, then that musician must compensate him for the lawyer fees and the court costs for Pete going after his money for his work. That musician must pay him an initial payment for that lyrics writing to be produced and sang by his musician, himself and his band. Then he must pay Pete royalties of every copy of them lyrics sold. So if that musician copies 30,000 albums and sells them, he gets 30,000 times royalties. That must be negotiated between Pete and the musician according to the state and federal laws, along with lawyer and court costs. Pete will be very happy at the end of the day when he leaves my courtroom as a victim on you're wanted in questioning, and I have the answers. Judge Bob Roberts. Take. Again, we have a third case coming up today. We had 2 wonderful days so far on court cases and how to educate people in our audience what's right and wrong. So there are no misconceptions about the information and how it is being addressed. We cannot let law go off the track. Laws are the laws. We must know them. And why go to a school and get a law degree just to know your legal rights? Third case, pedestrian traffic. Pedestrians have the right of way on many areas, but not all. And that does not say they are right. 2, behave in front of a business, go the same path, or act the same as others. Duplicate actions. Walk out of traffic, or even parking lots at arenas and established events. There are many parking authority enforcement these days in many cities, far beyond police and traffic patrol. There are many valet services that are part of parking authority to alleviate a lot of the congestion and confusion about parking. It may cost you a couple dollars, but it's better than paying a fine or going home with an insurance claim that you have to pay out because of damage to a vehicle or a conference, who's parking where, and you miss your event, or at least part of the event. That's why so many people are coming to my show and asking if they could be on my show physically with me, Judge Bob Roberts, because you're wanted in questioning and I have your answers. Take. Next thing. And each time that I do a show, all of the commercials are going to be according to my show. The second one is musician rights. We're going to have lawyers on, or we're going to have studios, production studios, whether it be music or movie production studios, advertising their sales of digital rights. Advertising different values for musicians as well, even at a commercial for musicians. The pedestrian traffic is the same. We will do different area pedestrian, we will do different enforcement, different valet parking, different commercials for each one between every half-hour show. Because I am Judge Bob Roberts, bringing you the most updated law information that you do not have to have a law degree to learn. Just tune into our show every day, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will educate you on the laws. Education of the information, and then my staffing selling the commercials, it's going to be a positive venture for you, the production team, and myself in a monetary gain. This is why I designed a new platform of justice called You're Wanted in Questioning, and I, Judge Bob Roberts, have the answers. And I'm going to hold up in the beginning of the show a big justice book, and I have your answers. And then we have many more synopsises of different shows. Let me bring a couple more cases to you. People don't want to go into court not knowing what a lawyer is doing. Do you know there are stars in Hollywood that pay millions a year in legal fees, and they have no idea what the lawyer's doing? They don't have a clue. I, Judge Roberts, I'm going to bring you the laws and the answers to all your legal questions, no matter who you are, from a homeless person up to a person with some of the highest authority in the nation. So that's what we do on Your Wanted in Questioning. Educate the laws to all who need them. Individual family rights, property. If a person passes away, who does that property rightfully go to, with or without a will? Subpoenas and search warrants. Subpoenas have been sent to several people with no crime committed, requesting information or evidence. A court or agency or organization may issue a subpoena, and anyone above the age, if not with any party, can serve the warrant, can serve the subpoena. My apologies. Some responsible giving no personnel information, and some giving what was requested, and one of them came to us with questions and said, the person that delivered the subpoena was wanted on questioning, and I, Judge Bob Roberts, have the answers. A person serving a subpoena must know the trespassing and property laws, or could end up subpoenaed themselves. The United States Postal Service, there are some municipalities and local laws, state and federal laws, that say any person can walk up to a mailbox of any person that is not behind a security gate, even if it is right next to their house and 2 miles on their property. It's still a legal right, and it is not trespassing if there are no signs. A person serving a warrant must be a sheriff, a police officer, or an accompanied security team with police or security permissions to do so. Country Music Award Show wrote in about different values. They've accepted so much information in fan mail, requests for this song to be sang, request for this person to be up there doing the hosting and the announcement. And one of the friends of the show got his way. He has the document, he has pictures of the document, photocopies of the document, when it was sent. And then 3 months later, the Country Music Awards show came on using his format. He is to be compensated. Commercials of the subpoena and search warrants, local county sheriffs, local county police, city police. Letting the people know, don't think that they can't get a search warrant for communications if you're taking pictures of certain items and certain properties within the city. You don't have a legal right to take a picture of just anything you want to. Even in public, there are certain brands and names and designs that are protected, not only from manipulation of the brand, but also photography of that brand. It must not be displayed anywhere. If you got a picture of something, example, just a picture of a Budweiser sign, you are not allowed to post that on social media or sell that or give that to anyone, because that's not your property to give. And we have the local, state, and federal laws on that information. Family rights, intellectual property. There's a lot of people with intellectual property, a lot of stars, a lot of musicians, a lot of producers, a lot of investors, a lot of patent designers, brand designers, that they've been working on things for years. Now, if that person is all of a sudden becomes ill, mentally challenged, unfit to be able to take care of his or her own lifestyle, passes away, I have the local, federal, and state laws on the closest sibling rights, the closest people to that person, and the people that were taking care of that person, caretakers versus family members, on who